So, I get it. You guys would rather see us as cartoon characters. Fine. So, I was gonna go all emo here and turn into my coffee cup, and, but I tried to animate like 30 seconds with my very, very basic knowledge of After Effects that John taught me. It's so hard! Did you guys saw that video last week, right? You all did. It's like the most viewed video we've ever had of ever. I mean, I tried to make my little coffee cup's arms go up and down, and it took me 3 hours. Student question of the week this week is, since it's Valentine's week, with Joe's Scottish book encyclopedia coming eventually, which character's wedding would we like to see the most? And frankly, I'm not going to say Harry or Ginny or Neville and Hannah or Luna and this Commander guy. I'm going to say George and Angelina. George and Angelina, because I think that by the time they get married, George will have been over Fred's death enough that he can bring some of the levity and fun into it, to make it a day that he could kind of share with Fred in spirit that way. And I think it would be the most fun wedding that you've ever been to. Okay guys, it's finally that time. We are going to talk about The Great Gatsby, one of my favorite books of all time. This is widely thought of as the great American novel, but I would call it a great American novel. I don't think it's necessarily fully encapsulating of the American dream, but I do think that it studies the American dream in marvelous and really insightful ways. If you read this book in school, you have undoubtedly heard a lot about the color yellow, about the looming, unseeing, unfeeling eyes of Dr. T.J. Eckleburg, which do not have to signify God no matter what your English teacher says. They might, they also might not, and Fitzgerald makes a strong point that symbols are only what we make of them. And that's all important, and that's all great, and it's part of why I love this book. The real reason I love this book is very, very simple. This has some of the best language you will ever read. Listen to this line. She had caught a cold, and it made her voice huskier and more charming than ever, and Gatsby was overwhelmingly aware of the youth and mystery that wealth imprisons and preserves, of the freshness and many clothes, and of Daisy, gleaming like silver, safe and proud, above the hot struggles of the poor. Oh my, what a book. Short version, it's a story about the American dream. The eponymous character, Gatsby, has a very pure dream that is completely and systematically crushed by the era and the politics and the money hierarchies that are going on at the time. It's set in the 20s, an era of self-made millionaires, bootlegging, the rise of organized crime. America is changing, and in a time of change, we always see kind of what we're made of, right? I think to get to the point with this book, you have to talk about Myrtle and Wilson. Here, they are the center of the book. They are literally what brings the geography of the book together and what brings the symbology of the book together. They live in the ash heaps. They're seen as the poverty, but I would argue that Wilson, who is, he's barely there. He's coated in ash. He's coated in the decay of the era. He's generally a good man. He's a mechanic. He buys and sells cars. He's the only one who doesn't do wasteful things in the entire book. He is the only one who's not participating in this. And as you'll see by the end of the book, he too is corrupted by the era and by everybody else's corruption of the American. It's really dismal. Myrtle, however, she is the direct opposite of her husband. She's vibrant and colorful and coarse and rude, and she's a flapper. She has wide hips. She's a very sensuous, very, very bright color character compared to Daisy, who's floaty in white dresses and, you know, pretty little girlish. And the part upon this rereading that really struck me is this. At the end of the book, as Nick is sitting out on Gatsby's dock, kind of reflecting on the story he's just told, he says this: "And as the moon rose higher, I became aware of the old island here that flowered once for Dutch sailors' eyes, a fresh green breast of the New World." Now let's compare that to when Myrtle was found dead, the description. And notice she is hit by a yellow car, a monstrosity of wealth, yellow car. She's run over by it. Yeah, English teachers love the yellow. Oh, by the way, guys, spoiler alert, this is not like Harry Potter. Spoilers are okay. P.S. Myrtle dies. That's not the point of reading the book. When they had torn open her shirtwaist, still damp with perspiration, they saw that her left breast was swinging loose like a flap, and there was no need to listen for the heart beneath. The mouth was wide open and ripped at the corners as though she had choked a little in giving up the tremendous vitality she had stored so long. I don't think it's an accident, the double use of the word breast. If the American dream is to pick yourself up from poverty and break into a different social class, Myrtle's struggles to get there have been crushed, just like so many others. Just like the ease and the arrogance of money have destroyed so many other dreams. Her breast was destroyed, the heart underneath it torn open, and all that vitality and verve she had for life had choked coming out of her. Myrtle is the center of this book, and God, I want to talk about this more, but this video is getting long. How about this? I'll do another video. It'll be on my personal channel, Melissa and Ellie, and if you are interested in talking about this more, come meet me there.